What's good? What's good? Hey, how y'all doing out there? This is another episode of Chopping It Up with Q podcast. I am Q. V's in the building, of course. And we also got a special guest in the building. We got my man, Lord Penniless from the Poor People's Podcast. You know, I got to talk about it. Why you probably balling like that. I guess you just want to put poor out there, just let people think that you living all average out here.
No, I'm super average, brother. Everything's all average. Well, the name the Poor People's Podcast comes from the fact that me and my sister, of course, when I do the podcast with my sister, our moniker is with two broke folk in a microphone, two podcasters that grew up in the same home. You know what I'm saying? And we just lived in little projectual places from time to time, like growing up. So we have most of our experiences come from a poor people's point of view.
Okay, I can feel it.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we connect
look,
the hood.
I tell you like this, if you go to work every day and you can't sit home and make money, you still poor. I always say I'm the working poor, even though people think I make money. I was like, I got kids and shit, so that shit erase any extra money I got. But you know how it goes.
Well, I feel like we can connect to a lot of people because most people live under the poverty line anyway, whether they know it or not.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? We can all connect. Everybody done had a pack of noodles before. I connect with the ramen folk, you know what I mean?
Man, ramen was life back in the,
Shit, what you mean? I still have a pack every now and then.
I gotta stop because it give me headaches.
Yeah, man, that's what it was. I'll try it and then you feel a little weird afterwards. It's kind of like...
but it smells good though.
Oh yeah, it's great. Especially if you had a little extra and you could get sauce just to cut up in it.
Yeah, you ball out on that, buddy.
I don't know. I guess I get that. Because what happened is a guy that I was seeing in college had a friend that was from Vietnam, and so his parents would send him care packages with like the real deal shit.
Yeah, yakisoba.
Yeah, so then it's like less sodium. They taste a little bit better. Like.
So you was having real ramen out here. We out here
I mean, as real as prepackaged ramen can be, but yeah.
But see, just like a short little story, like one of the stories we tell a lot on my podcast is about my Uncle Ricky. Now, my Uncle Ricky is he's a cat that's been in jail a lot.
All right.
Right. So he was basically giving us like it's so funny because he was giving us like a recipe for how to cook noodles and noodles, but he was like, I'm gonna show you how to. This is the whole thing where basically he crushes them up, and it was crazy because all this stuff was supposed to be like so extravagant, but it comes out to be so little at the end of it. He's like, what you got to do is you take the noodles and you take one pack and you crush them up, and then you put it into the water. And then you add the sauce into it. You say the other pack, you add some onions, and you chop some.
Wait, what is it? Noodle stew?
Because he called it fried noodles or something like that. It was oodles and noodles with onions and green peppers in it. It was the whole thing. He added butter, all that stuff. But the whole presentation of how we set it up, hilarious. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it is. Like he's super extra. He's one of them people who he'll tell you that you don't, like he's like, I don't like collard greens. They just say if you don't like that. Okay. He'll tell you don't like it because you haven't had it the way I cooked it. Then he forced you to eat it.
Okay, he had an uncle. We all got that uncle.
Yeah. You ain't never had it like I cooked.
So I will say that I was expecting this to end in like a jailhouse spread with like Cheetos involved. So I'm glad, this is way better than.
He was gotta take the peanut butter and then you put it like this, and then you gotta make sure you cut up your sausages. It was like,
I was expecting a completely different thing from onions and green peppers. So that sounds.
The thing about it, I don't think he ever ate that before. Like he don't eat the swollen and stuff like that. All his stuff was like when he went to jail. Like they was making like food up in there.
Oh, okay.
He's old, so they was. It's crazy. They won't make stuff out of chips. He was like had like real like peppers and all that crap up in there or something. He was like gourmeting it up in school, not school, but jail.
The one time I went to jail.
Yeah, I've been there.
Man, so all right. So I tell everybody, I was there for like 23 hours. I was in a wholesale and all that shit. And they slid the food in for lunch. And I looked at that. I think it was breakfast. And I looked at it, I was like, man, what is this? I was like, it looked like some oat-ish stuff. And it was like all runny. And I was like, man, I don't even know what none of this shit is. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab this banana. They had this one cat who was like, hey, man, you ain't going to eat that? I said, nah, dog, you can have it, man. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to be out. Jail food's disgusting. Just so y'all know. That's a public.
When I went to jail for like 12 hours, I didn't eat anything.
I did 3 days. I did 3 days in Virginia Beach. And like one funny thing, when you're in the cell and you have to share a cell with somebody, you're not supposed to take a dump in the cell. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like common like courtesy or whatever. So I had to take a dump. I was there for 3 days, so I had to use the bathroom. So, but it had like the outside toilet that was sitting down in like the common area. So it's a common area, then it's like a little wall. And in the little wall, it got a little sheet in front of it. But when you sit down, I'm like 6'3", so you can see me. Like you can see me at the shoulder. Like I'm just sitting down in this box or whatever. Like everybody watching TV, and I'm sitting down in the box and looking at the TV, taking a dump in the middle of the dang the commentator.
Man,
like all that stuff happened, yo.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. That's what kept me from eating, really, because I was like, man, I know this shit either gonna clog my ass up or have me in here runny. And then there's only one toilet with like 4 folks. Nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, brother.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie though. I did have like a $20 come up. So, here's what happened though. So, all right. So I get pulled in. I had like 2 shirts. I had like my Under Armour shirt and I had like a regular t-shirt. And they dragged this other cat in and all he had was like a wife beater. But dude in here like just shivering, freezing cold. And he was like, man, I'm cold, man. And he's looked at me. He's like, man, you got 2 shirts? I was like, yeah, man, I got 2. He was like, hey, man, look, I give you $20 for one of your shirts right now. And I'm like, nigga, they just drug you in. How you got money? I was like, all my shit. Oh, man, I got some in my
nigga, you got butt money.
Nah. So what happened was this cat, he's like, oh, don't worry about it. This nigga took his shirt off and said, look, here's $20 right here. I was like, shit, I was in college, so I was like, fuck it, I can use that 20 here, dog.
Yeah, thank you. That was butt money, man.
Hey, man, look.
That was in his prison wallet.
Look, at the end of the day, every dollar bill has been in some stripper's ass. So I'm just saying.
That's facts.
I'm just saying.
That's facts. That's facts.
True story.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how y'all?
I mean,
dog, I was like, how y'all week been, man? So, Penniless, you go ahead and tell us how everything going. V, you can go ahead and go right after that too.
Okay. Well, I'm out in the DC, Virginia, Maryland area. So, I was working in DC when they had the old Unite the Right thing or whatever.
Oh shit.
What was crazy? Now, I was in preparation for it. I was just like, it made me extra paranoid because I was thinking there's going to be a lot of them showing up. So I'm like, I'm just riding through DC or whatever, just doing my job. And I'm thinking that I might see like a couple of them just walking around, but they might have on their I'm Not Racist couture outfit. So I don't know who they really is. You know what I'm saying? Because it made me to a point now. 'Cause I'm from the South. Not deep South like y'all, but I'm from the South. I'm from Virginia. So my whole thing about it is that like when I see white people with tattoos, I always look at their tattoos to see if it's some racist marks on it or something like that. Every time. You know what I'm saying? To make sure I can feel comfortable.
So I'm just dealing with them. Or a swastika or something like that.
All that SS and all that stuff like that. Right. I look for all that stuff. So anyways, I'm sitting in, I'm waiting to see like a few of them that's walking around where I'm thinking I'm going to drive around DC, see somebody with a Klan outfit on. It was like 30, 40 of them cats that showed with DC. DC itself was out there. The whole entire DC was out there, like basically like protesting them. But it was like 30 or 40 of them cats out there. That was it. So I was kind of happy about that. Everything. Yeah, because I was just chill. Like other than that, man, and then trying to get ready to start re-recording for the podcast. We've been on like a hiatus for like a month now.
Oh man, taking a break or just trying to get things organized? I feel
trying to get things organized, man. This stuff this stuff don't pay. It's not so like money come first.
True, man.
I feel
that. So yeah. So like had to handle that stuff, and other than that, just being married, man. My wife cooked some good dinner.
Why would you want to do something like that, man? You had your whole life to think for, And you out here getting married and shit. No, I'm fucking with you. Go ahead.
I had to kill the old me, man. That nigga had to go. That nigga terrible.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When you look back on your old self, you like, man, I was fucking up. Like we got all those moments where you like, man, I was out here living foul. I don't know what I was doing, but
bro, I was living with my ex for like 2 years. So it was a lot going on. I see you have your hand raised. Yeah, I was living with my ex for like 2 years. Just
hanging out.
A lot of things happened. Well, okay, this is how it works. Basically, I don't want to take up too much of the week thing right here because this is your weeks and everything. But I would just say like this: I was in a relationship I didn't want to be in anymore. But then, financially, I was convinced that it would be best for us to go ahead and stay in the same domicile because, you know what I'm saying, it'll help us out for both rent. So I had a room, such and such had their own room. But then things just continued to get more complicated as things went forward. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's a long story. I don't want to take up the whole week thing.
No, I get that. So you was out here living like Issa from Insecure.
I didn't see the new episode yet, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Watch the episode, and you be like, "Oh, that mother."
Yeah. I did. Okay. I did like tripe and stuff. Like I brought girls to the house and all that stuff. Dirt bag. I was dirt. So I was terrible, and I'm willing to admit I was terrible. I did bad things.
Send her a quick text like, "Hey, yo, you gotta shake the spot this afternoon, man. You know, I got a little side."
She was still there.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, okay. All right, you know it.
Okay.
Live your best life, dog. Don't let nobody tell you nothing.
I ain't going back.
I stand a savage ass king. I don't.
No, I'm okay.
I want to learn to be like you.
The most messed up it had got was the most. Like I said, this is not me. I'm not glorifying. Yeah, I would just say the worst that it got was that she took me to a girl's house before.
Huh.
Like she in her.
So you got your old work to drop you off at your new work house?
Yes.
You know what? That's just called clout, dog. I don't know what he's like.
No, because it was bad. It was bad because it was. I know why she was doing it because she was trying to do it to make herself like hate me enough or whatever like that.
Okay.
At least that was her reasoning was like she gonna take me there because she was like it's gotta be like she wants to be able to like hate me in her eyes so she can leave me alone.
I'm missing her logic a lot on this.
That was her logic.
I was like, really dumb.
And I was like, you know what? Okay.
Yeah.
And then take me then because
I don't want to call her stupid, but.
It was stupid. It was stupid.
I don't know her, and I don't want to call her stupid, but that was stupid.
It was
okay.
Also messable mind because like I shouldn't have went that far at all.
We all did. I remember I used to go over to her ex's house just because I knew she would, and then there was one day she thought we were back together, and I was like, "No, we not back together." She was confused. She was like, "So you just gonna have?" I say, you gave it to me. I mean, well, I'm supposed to say no.
Yes, I am. I'm going to just have sex with you and go home.
Give it to me. Don't hold back now. Give it to me.
If you toss me the alley, I'm going to go with it. I'm just saying. So.
What was I supposed to do? Catch that bitch and not dunk it? Like, wait.
Pull a rondo and dish it back out? Nah, man. We taking this one.
2 minutes on the clock.
I was like, yeah.
But I'm not that guy anymore, man. You know, I'm not that dude.
Full adult, man. I do adult things. I don't act up.
What you got it to, man?
Nothing nearly as interesting. Woo. None of those things. My godson turned 5 on Wednesday, so
shout out!
Party for him.
Congratulations!
Yes, happy birthday, Jamal! Whoop, whoop.
Happy birthday. If you're listening, Jamal, happy birthday.
If he is, we got to ask some questions. Like,
we got some questions. I don't think he needs to hear Auntie talk about what anything that Auntie's talking about. But Auntie's baby turned 5, and we had a birthday party for him, Transformers, because he adores Bumblebee. So That's what we did. And we had a big ass water slide, one of those inflatable joints or whatever, with like the bounce house attached. So we all slid, my mom, my aunt, like all of us, just big kids, little kids, just all on the water slide. So that was fantastic.
Damn, I should have went so I could get footage of that. That would have been hilarious.
I mean, going down the water slide. Oh yeah. That's what everyone needed. Had some difficulties with his godfather, which I told you about.
That happens.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, because people are always surprised by this, I was married to somebody once. I know, shocker.
You were married?
Yes, I know. People are surprised when I bring this up, and they're like, "Wait, you were married to somebody?" I was married. So I share my godson with my ex-husband. And my ex-husband, I don't know what his problem is. I don't know what he has been on lately, because I do not contact him unless it is something about the kid. So normally what happens is we split the cost of whatever we're doing for the kid for his birthday. That is all I ever contact him about. The rest is up to him. That is not my business. So he says we're going to split the cost of water slide rental. Yes.
Okay.
You in the back.
I have a question. I'm sorry. My hand was up. Question.
Yes.
I would probably say I would always assume that first, who was the godparent under? Like how would you become was it because of you or because of him? Like who was he? What's the connection to make the godparent? Like was it somebody you knew or somebody he knew?
It's somebody that I knew, because it's actually my cousin, but
my God kid anymore.
But he knew them separately from me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like he didn't
meet them through you.
Right. He volunteered
he became
himself
the
for
godparent
this.
through.
He volunteered himself for that role when she was pregnant. I didn't volunteer myself for shit. He did.
Oh, okay.
I was the plus one in that equation.
Oh, okay.
That's what it sounds very convoluted, but I was not the person that volunteered for that. It just happens to be my cousin.
Yeah.
But
that's all. I mean,
I digress.
Just defending the rights of men. Go ahead.
But anyway, besides the point, that is the said agreement. That has been the agreement, because we have not been married for some time now. So this has been the agreement, and he has been adhering to this agreement. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not me forcing him to do anything.
Yeah.
So he basically did not call the kid for his birthday, did not show up to his party. Meanwhile, he's texting me the entire time saying, "Oh yeah, I'm on my way. I'm going to come and drop the money off for XYZ, blah, 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 blah." So of course I just had to, come out of pocket, go ahead and cover the cost or whatever. And the 3 or 4 days leading up to this, he is still gaslighting the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I'm coming. Oh, I had to do this, but I'm on my way." So he does not come to the kid's party, does not call him. And then when I, of course, call him out on his shit, because I was like, "Hey, honestly, you could have just said you weren't coming." Because the kid was asking for you.
So he forfeited his space as God daddy.
I would think so. And that's fine. I mean, that's absolutely fine. But my whole thing with that is you don't treat a child that way. When that child has been asking for you since Wednesday and thinking that you're coming, and you just don't show at all. Because money aside or plans aside, it was still taken care of, and you still could have come.
That good time.
I mean, my theory.
He wasn't disinvited. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of is what it is with that. But I just kind of told him, hey, that was kind of messed up, because I believe in holding people accountable. If you don't want to be there, that's cool. But don't have us trying to cover for you because you just don't want to be involved. Just say that. And then he was like, "I would never at any time. I do for him all the time." And I'm like, okay, and that's fine, God, but
we talking about this time though.
We're talking about right now, and the fact that you aren't here. Like, it was just very weird. Like, he really tried to gaslight me and make it seem like I was wrong for telling him that he was wrong.
Yeah. Well, niggas do that.
It was very strange. It does not matter, and that's why your exes are ex for a reason. Because I had to pray about it, and I tell that nigga to choke on a bag of dicks and die. So
wait,
it really is
the prayer
what it
told
is.
you to. Oh, no.
The prayer told me not to do it.
Oh, I was like, I thought God was like, "Yeah, man, tell that nigga off, man. Shit, tell that nigga how you feel."
I prayed to God to not go to jail. Is what it did.
Don't ask God.
I don't never ask God to help me do sinister stuff. I ask God when I'm trying to be. Hey. I pray when I'm trying to be a better person. The rest of the time, I just let Satan do what he got to do, and we just rock with it. So,
hey, look, we all
he got the best working version of me on Saturday. The one that the Lord has reached out and touched, because the one that you get on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday is not that one.
Hey,
That's
man,
the one that would have burnt his fucking house down.
Because
And
we
then
all
stood
knew,
outside and waited for the cops.
you know, we all knew the Lord was out here thugging like that, but man, I didn't know he was.
Listen, I
Spell
as I
Jesus
told y'all,
with a G. You be like,
Yo,
as I've told you many times on this podcast, I'm going to hell on full scholarship. So none of this matters. None of what he said matters to me.
Jesus.
Look, he recruited gang members, man. He just called them disciples. That's just, you know, just saying.
You know what? The point is that the baby had a good birthday. It was a good weekend. Aside from that, I'm not going to let that steal that child's joy. But everything is a learning lesson. So what have I learned? Not to be a dummy bitch when it comes to niggas that you don't fuck with no more. Just cut ties. And I should have told him, hey, stay away from the kid too.
Yeah, you don't never want to be a DB.
Yes, don't nobody want to come out here looking like a deadbeat. Fuck that nigga. Like, it's fine. Like, it is what it is. So that's what I learned. I learned
F them, feed them beans, like my cousin.
Exactly. When people exit your life, you should allow them to exit your life.
You're right.
That is what I learned from the experience. And sometimes we try to hold on to ties or feel like we can be friends with people or try to be civil to people for whatever reason. Sometimes that's just not in the cards. And that's what I learned from this weekend. Sometimes you just got to let shit the fuck go. It's not for you.
Look, I'm a firm believer in, like, if you want to bounce, you can bounce. I ain't gonna ever hold you back. I'm gonna let you do what you want to do.
You just gotta let it rock. And damn it, I let it rock. And I hope that nigga chokes on a bag of dicks. The end.
There's something about a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
Because he can't choke on just because one is not enough. Lord Penniless, one is not enough.
Yo, that's like top tier insult, yo. Like, yo,
I want it.
Eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah,
that's how that fits.
Drink bleach.
He needs. He deserves. He deserves. That's for him. All of that is for him. That is his ministry. That is his altar. I want him to lay upon it. That is his hill for him to die on. Choking on a bag of dicks. Good luck. God bless.
I mean, I was thinking you was gonna say choke on it while playing in traffic with a
he
bleach
should
chaser.
drink. He should drink bleach. I hope he can swirl the dicks around in bleach. And then choke on them then while he lays in traffic. And that's great.
Oh,
congrats.
Man.
Okay.
Well, if you're listening, just know she has a brand new bag just for you.
Yeah.
And if you do listen, that's for you. He don't never have to worry about that because he can't do shit. What you gonna do? Fight me about it?
Ooh.
If you are listening, what you gonna do? Fight?
You ain't gonna do nothing, nigga.
Nothing but be a deadbeat nigga.
Yeah, nigga. All you gonna do is be deadbeat, nigga.
Boom. Like Lord Penniless said, deadbeat nigga.
Jesus.
I tell you, man, reread the Bible, man. There was some
gang banging for Jesus.
Oh, man.
It's cool. I was gonna commit arson in Jesus' name.
Look.
No, Jesus. Jesus.
Yeah, you gotta separate it.
In Jesus' name, I was about to commit arson.
And his 12 homies.
Straight up.
The Lord's Supper wasn't really a supper. It was just them jumping each other into the game.
Like, who else roll through towns and all of a sudden you roll in with 3 and leave with 2? I mean, leave with 5. I'm just saying, you want to recruit free. Yo, you want to really see what this life really about? Come roll with me.
Y'all niggas ain't got wine?
So does that mean Judas just got tired and was kind of like a narc? Like,
yeah. Look, it was one of those situations. He's like, nah, man, basically, he's like, y'all, man, look, I got to do. He out here doing. So basically, he was the first, kind of Frank Lucas-ish. He out here.
He was like, yo, Jesus is tripping, bro.
Yo, he ain't sharing these funds like he need to, man. He talking about we supposed to be. Let me stop.
J Money. Judas was a confidential police informant.
Look, I need somebody to write this. Whoever's good at writing, please write a version of this. I'm sure People in the church are gonna be pissed, but they'll enjoy.
Oh my God! Well, I was probably going to hell already, but my seat is solidified now. All right.
Oh man. I mean, let's see. It wasn't that bad. All right, so I ain't gonna lie. This weekend, the only thing I really did was I was on some super kid stuff. So I was rewatching Batman the animated series from back in the day. Hey, don't ask
it's
me.
Such a good one.
First of all,
it was dope.
Go ahead.
Of course,
that's probably one of the greatest cartoons of all time.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So I was out here watching that, and then we also so we got an early copy of Infinity War too, but we don't discuss that. But so I rewatched it. Now, of course, I got a lot of questions, but I ain't gonna go on there because that'll take up the whole episode. I mean, I got a lot of why they just didn't, type situations. But the funny part that came out of it was my daughter. So, unfortunately, for all the young cats out here who think they just gonna get out here and run game, my youngest ain't really gonna go for it because she probably gonna drop you where you lay. And the reason being is because everybody remember the part when Chris Pratt,
Star-Lord,
aka Star-Lord, was beating Thanos in the head and was all mad and stuff because of what happened with Gamora. Yeah. So my 7-year-old asked me, well, Daddy, why he so mad? What's going on? I was like, oh, remember the green girl Gamora? That was his girlfriend, and he was a little upset because he killed his girlfriend. So, well, can't he just get a new woman? And, they could have stopped all of this, but he out here, I'm paraphrasing now, but she basically was like, he out here wilding, and they could have stopped all this if he would have just thought about getting a new woman afterwards. I mean, it's
at least 15 more green ones out there. You could have got.
That's what I said. Don't she got some sisters? Ain't nobody left over.
I mean, I don't know, man, but I'm just saying the galaxy's a big place. But
insert Nino Brown gift for him pouring wine on a little girl head.
Oh man, cancel that. Give me a new one. God damn.
Cancel this green hoe. Time for a new one. Give me a blue hoe next.
But it was just so funny because she's 7. It just turned she only been 7 since January, and I was like, I ain't think of her to think that way. I'm thinking of her really siding with him. But nah, she he could have just got him a new bra and been cool. And then it was another time.
That's my motherfucking birthday twin, and she knows what the fuck.
You thought she was gonna be thinking about sunflowers and butterflies. She thinking about bullets and magazines.
Yeah, that's because Capricorn women are the realists. We logical to a fucking fault. She's right. If we think about the greater good, Capricorns are all about the means to an end. And if that means need to get a new motherfucking girlfriend so we don't all die, guess what you got to get? A new girlfriend.
It's one of those ones where I was sitting there thinking, man, when she get older, she gonna have that one, lame dude who not gonna call her. And she ain't gonna call. And he gonna call me. Why you ain't call me? Nigga, I ain't heard from you. What you mean? That's gonna be the conversation. I'm just saying.
She gonna tell him phones work both ways. And when you ask her about them, she gonna be like, who? What?
Say, nah, I ain't heard from him, so we ain't together.
She gonna look at you and be like, I hadn't talked to him in 3 weeks. Why are you asking me about him? And keep and pour some juice and keep walking to her room. She's not.
Yo, man. But yeah, that was.
It'll never be that.
That was hilarious. I was like, wow. I couldn't do anything but laugh. I was like, I didn't have an answer for her. It's like,
smart girl.
She was like, well, if Thanos got all this power, why he couldn't just do something else besides kill everybody? Baby, I don't know.
Great question.
It's a fantastic question. Maybe he just didn't find the right cause to, start a GoFundMe for her. Yeah. Maybe that's all it took. Maybe he needed to save the whales or something. Maybe somebody from ASPCA should have contacted him.
So Thanos should gather all the Infinity Stones to start a GoFundMe.
Maybe he gathered all the Infinity Stones to wipe out hunger. Maybe it was to save marine life. But I'm just saying, maybe if somebody would have reached out to him with some positive idea.
Got the dang student loans out of here.
He wants to snatch something away.
Start a non-profit.
Go ahead and take Sally Mae and Navia. Bye.
Man, look, if he can make them and they'll let all them go away, look, I'm all for it.
Come back where you're going, sir. We know you killed that little green lady or whatever, but we're not mad. We're not mad. Come back. Thanos for president 2020.
Oh man. Speaking about y'all president, Mr. Don T himself.
My favorite guy.
Yeah, man. Look, Dante. I keep telling her, Dante's out here thugging and everything, but unfortunately, his what was she? What was her Omarosa's job really?
Community related.
Was she like a
Minority
black
community
liaison or some
relations?
goofiness like
From
that?
what I could,
I thought you
from
were
my
gonna say community
understanding-
dick, but go ahead.
God,
No, I
damn.
think
Hey man, I
We're
got
good.
questions.
community bicycle. Everyone has had a ride.
Oh man.
No, community doorknob. Everyone has had a turn. No,
Exactly.
I swear, I think she was hired like to basically pander to black folks, wasn't she?
yeah, that's exactly what
that's what her job was. She was liaison. She was his African American liaison.
Oh,
it was something to that extent. Like not that exactly, maybe a couple more words, but that was.
She brought the black preachers in there. All the ones that was in there, like giving him hand jobs in that last meeting. She brought the black pastors in there, the ones that was like, the turncoats.
So basically, Dante, I don't understand what are these color folks saying really, Amara? That's basically her job.
That's what these niggas said. Yeah. We already know he said.
I know.
Yeah, which brings us to the point of bringing him up. So Omarosa got fired. We all know that. And she says that she recorded the discussions in regarding her firing. As well as in the Situation Room, as well as other recordings about some of the president's staff trying to figure out how they would do damage control if it ever got out that he said the N-word.
Yeah. Let's stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
There's been many accounts of him dropping the nigga every so often. There's accounts of him being racist with his apartments and things like that. Why is that a surprise to people? I guess it gives them more, evidence, but
I don't know that it's surprising. I think it's more so just interesting, right? Because the whole uproar about it from his camp is that he has never, that never happened. But the question is, then why is there a conversation about damage control if and when he says the N-word? Like, how is that? Like, how do you need a contingency plan
for something that he
for him saying nigga? Like
that's this type of White House anyway. Because if you ever notice, every time Sarah Sanders gets out there and lies, like everything is like it never happened. Like nothing is true. Nothing that they've ever said has ever. Nothing that has ever happened in the White House has been true. It's always been some type of a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold up, are you frozen?
Is she?
Oh my God.
We were talking about. Hey man, she got frozen awkward face.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Now, V.
But no.
What is it?
No, when your screen froze, they froze you like this type face.
It just me.
That's totally my orgasm face right there. That was it.
You know what? Sometimes you gotta push through it. It's all good.
It's fine.
Well, my fault. I ain't mean to bring up the.
Nah, go ahead. What you saying?
But Sarah Sanders, like, all she do is basically lie. But my whole thing about it is, by now they should know that they don't have to lie. Like, Donald Trump could, by all means, rape a koala on the dang Lincoln Memorial, and it wouldn't do nothing. They wouldn't care. They'd be like, it's his presidential prerogative to rape as many koalas as he wants.
It's his God-given right to.
He really could drag an endangered bald eagle down from wherever, put that bitch on the White House South Lawn, have it lay eggs, eat the eggs, like just have the bitches fried up over easy for him, and just be dipping his toast in the yolk over his briefings. And they'd be like, well, the president should eat bald eagle eggs. I mean, he's the president. What other kind of eggs should he eat?
Or they'll say, that's not what that was. This is fake news. That was just some
overgrown turkey eggs.
That wasn't a bald eagle. That was a raven.
So ostrich eggs. No, the president has never even been in the same room as a bald eagle.
Yeah, those are condor eggs that we shouldn't take. But still,
California, it's super endangered California condor eggs.
I'm so sick of it, yeah. And I'm like right here. I walk past I work in DC. I see the White House all the time. and it's just like it's so irritating. I've seen the little. Like when you just going down the street and they have like the Secret Service, everybody driving him around. All that it angers me. Just like he's right there, like he's right there. You know, like he's like it's stupid. It's right there, and that's what's so killer about it is being around it, man.
Man,
it's sad. It's sad.
It is, man. Because I think no matter what, people either are desensitized or B, or just really not, because I think what happens is that people know, but you know how it is when you but you gonna just bullshit through it and not really come out and admit things.
I think it is. I think it's a desensitization, like, because it's always something to the point where it's like you either, one, can't keep track of all of it, or two, if you tried to, you would just be stressed all the time. And I think you do get to a point to where it's sensory overload. Just like, I can't. Just like when they say, like, statistically, people that watch the news every night tend to have like a grimmer outlook on things. They don't really can't find the positivity in anything because the news is fucking depressing. It's like a 24-hour depression cycle, and who wants to be in that?
I think you got to be a little psychotic, not to really knock on anybody, but you got to be a little psychotic to watch the news all day, every day. Yes. Yeah. You can have
you want to hurt yourself.
Yeah, man. You can think like every time I see that little meme where the little dog's like in the burning house talk about this is fine. And that's how I look at people who watch like news
24/7.
Actually, it's funny because the situation had a fight break out that job because of the news. But go ahead.
No, your job?
Yeah, it was when like a whole election and everything was going on. They used to have it on CNN all the time. And
you get to watch CNN?
They had it on CNN. We had it. They didn't put it on Fox. I think
Fox
people
News.
drew the line there.
Yeah, Fox News is your job?
All I get to watch is Fox News. We're not allowed to change the channel. Like, all it is Fox News.
I'm changing that channel.
Yeah,
I just turn the TV off because I hate them all. But that's the story for another day.
Don't let a remote control be in there. It's gonna be on something else.
I just turn the TV
Teen
off.
Titans Go.
Yeah, we gonna be watching Nickelodeon.
I just turn it off. I just turn it off.
Say something.
But no, you gotta think about the situation with Trump is like, I can. He's done so many things. Like, most of the things we're talking about is stuff that happened this year. But we forget he had a whole year beforehand of messed up stuff he did, and the whole the primaries. Like, he said a lot of things. If you actually just start going back, you'd be like, "Oh, I forgot he said that."
He remember during his one of his rallies, he was like, "I can't remember what exactly."
He said, "I can shoot somebody."
Yeah, and nobody was saying that
avenue, and I wouldn't lose one follower. And he was right.
He was right. That's the bad
he was
thing.
Right. He can say, just like somebody said on Hot 97, it was like, "Yo, you might as well go ahead and just say nigga, say nigga." You might as well end up you're not going. The people who vote for you are not going to stop voting for you
because you said the N word.
Matter of fact, you might
the N word at home. Exactly, they say the N word at home all the time. So
it boils down. The reason being, I think, is because and this is what's going to be the scary part, is that if he can make promise on anything he talked about doing, people will continue to vote because that people will say it's worth going through as long as he can make my life comfortable.
He ain't even got to do that, bro. He ain't got to do that. He really doesn't. Because like
he can make it seem like he kind of made sort of progress a little bit, but as long as he upholds those racist, xenophobic ideals, they don't care. White people vote against their best interests all the time.
This is not even about
most of his base voted against their best interests.
Yeah, of course.
And now you see all these stories about, oh, well, I voted for President Trump and now I don't have a job because he said he was going to bring coal jobs back and they're not back.
Of course. Why would we regress in technology? That makes zero sense.
My husband or wife got deported and I voted for Trump, but I still love him. So obviously people vote against their best interest all the time. So
and it's not just white people though. It's a black dude at my job.
It's upset.
Oh, you had those guys? I ain't gonna lie. My pops is that way. So
everybody. But his followers vote against their best interests. They don't care about their interests.
Not even just his followers though.
Continue to whatever it is that they find appealing about him as soon as it.
It's not even.
Well, Lord.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
It's not even his followers.
Okay.
Yeah,
but no, it's not even just his followers. It was a black dude at my job and relatively hood guy, probably about like 27 or whatever. Youngin is he's sitting there talking, and we was having a conversation about Trump, and he was like, "Cool." He said Trump has his problems, which are already.
That's
he said Trump has.
but go ahead.
Then he said like that, like, 'cause we was talking about the kids, like how they would separate the families or whatever, and he was basically saying like, "Yo, it don't matter what he do with them kids or whatever, as long as he get them illegal immigrants out of here. He don't want them here." And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, first of all, like, you're not even wearing the uniform right now to be talking like that. But then when I see him talking like that, he basically like, he don't care. I'm like, yo, bro, somebody take your kids. You don't know when you're going to get your kids back. You don't even know if you're going to get your kids back. Some people don't even speak English to be able to ask the question of what has happened to my child right now. They don't even know. All they know is something got here, and all of a sudden they just separate. They don't even know what's going on in America right now. Yeah. So my thing about it is like he was down for that, and I'm sitting there listening to him talk, and he's talking like that. He straight up don't care. Yeah, and I was like, wow.
It has nothing to do with him right now.
It don't affect him,
and that's the problem. That's what you said. Yeah, that's what the problem comes with voting is that if it don't affect me personally, I'm not going to care about what happens to someone else elsewhere, as long as they can provide me something in return. So, for instance, people like for those jobs, they were like, "Yeah, I'm going to vote for him because he said he's going to bring back this outdated job. He's going to bring back all these different things.
He's going to bring back the steam engine."
Yeah, man. Shoot,
he's going to reinvent the cotton. He's going to reinvent the cotton gin, and all you niggers are going to be back in the fields.
Like going back cotton picking.
It is 2018. Why would you think that we still messing with coal? Like I said, it's no different than this. Go ahead outside and crank your car up real quick.
Yeah.
If somebody had that job, somebody had a job where they made cranks. They don't make them anymore because technology is surpassed making cranks. So what the freak is wrong with you? Like, you should think that like by now. That's my whole thing. Was like, okay, like boom. The people who own like these coal mines and stuff, right? They had a certain amount of money. They saw where the industry was going. Why don't you just go ahead and say, you know what? Let's start training our guys on how to make blah blah blah, and let's go ahead and switch over.
Oh, because that cost me too much money. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just shut down the mine. And I'm going to go ahead and transition over to manufacturing, anything else.
Actually, what they did with the coal mines, they shut the coal mines down or whatever, or decreased work in that and opened up prisons. And all the people who worked in coal mines is now guards in prisons and stuff. And that's why the whole prison complex is messed up the way it is. You know what I mean? So like,
oh shoot, I thought they got into like sex doll manufacturing, but I was like, shit.
No, if you think about it, most prisons is like in like West Virginia, like them places like that have like coal mines. All the places that like they used to have coal mines is like where all the prisons are. So that's where they get people to go. That's why they usually private prisons. So they get paid to have people go to jail, and that's why niggas is going to jail all the time and get sent out of state.
True.
Yep, you get caught with a little speck of marijuana. Hey, 20 years. You like what?
20 years
in West Virginia.
Except for in DC.
Yep.
DC you can have up to an ounce.
Look at y'all being special and shit. Look at that shit. All right.
Of course, one of Dante's I guess you say main. I ain't gonna say main supporter. Matter of fact, he wore the hat and everything. Your man, Kanye.
Yeezy? Not Yeezy.
You know what? I still don't want to cancel. I know a lot of people will say, man, screw it, I cancel Kanye. But it's like,
I don't cancel anybody.
I don't, yeah.
Kanye just gone, baby. He just
don't mess with him no more.
He in the sunken place. Yeah. And you just got to love him from where he used to be and just let that man ain't coming back.
He's done.
He made a song talking about masturbating to the photos of his sisters-in-law.
You ain't heard that song?
Like there's no more. Like he's not coming back, honey. That he's fine.
Wait. He made a song about beating off to his sisters?
He said that he will smash He said like most niggas be wanting to smash. Like I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he said most niggas want to smash they girl's sister, but I got 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? Basically, 4 chicks he was smashing their family or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah,
You still can't say that though, dog. Like,
it was some weirdo shit.
Not even just say that, but you recorded it and then you let it out.
And then
made a song and then put. And then they said the cover of the single was like the picture from one of them's birthday party that had
all the girls in it. And you'll think about this is you still married. How are you still married?
That's a good
question. My wife would kill me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's gross.
Physically.
If I told my old lady, yeah, man, I'll bust down your sister, I wouldn't even be able to finish the sentence.
Like, your sister, I smash. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, nigga,
your sister fine. Yeah.
Shit. You can't say that.
And he said that he glorified the fact that he would, and then he was talking about. Okay, this is my theory. Okay. I feel like because he was on Jimmy Kimmel, he was talking. Oh, Jimmy Kimmel, or one of them. Yeah, he was talking about how he was on that he go on Pornhub and he still like goes on Pornhub. So I feel like being that Kim has a video that's on Pornhub, I think that he has beat off to that dang tape of Kim and Ray J. Think he hasn't?
Yeah, that's.
You think he has not?
I think he has.
I can say he has, and I can also say that's like 1,000% weirdo shit. I'm sorry, I know people are gonna say that's wrong, but I'm like,
no, that's not wrong, brother.
How can you beat off to a sex tape your old lady made with somebody else?
No.
Yeah, I mean, even if you know it's out there, I think that at the point that you are with that person, that's not something you go dig up to watch.
You want to know how I know he did though? Because he wasn't with her when that videotape came out. You think he didn't look at that tape when he was already liking her from before? He absolutely beat off to that tape. And you think that now he's seen this old porno, if he comes up again, he's going to do it again.
I know.
That's crazy.
That's just like hella whack though. I watched it. Yes, I watched it more than once, but I was like, because first time it was just to see it. And
it's just because it's somebody famous. It's not like it was top notch porn.
It was famous.
Let's just be honest. The only reason people watched it the first time, they say, hey man, Ray J got a sex tape. You like, bullshit.
They turn it on.
And then you
fuck that. Like, I want to see. Let me see.
That's all it is.
And then we saw.
Yeah,
and we were all, underwhelmed.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you heard Mimi had a sex tape. You like, why does this bitch hold on to a curtain rod though? Like, this shit bolted in.
A shower curtain.
Is it shower rod?
That's what I said.
But it's only because it's famous. It's like okay.
Is she famous? Is she?
Is Mimi famous? Well,
famous-ish.
Enough. I seen her on TV.
Famous adjacent.
There
Good enough.
There you go.
She's hood famous. If she go to any hood, people know who she is.
I get
you. Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna say she's famous because she made it onto Leah Remini's Scientology show on A&E, and that's good enough for me.
Oh Lord,
Scientology.
She escaped Scientology.
Scientology.
She escaped Scientology. Her mama was a Scientologist.
Mimi?
Like,
Mimi's mom?
Yes! You have to watch it. It explains so fucking much about her behavior. Like, listen. After I saw that, I was like, girl, whatever decisions you're making, I see. I see why. Mimi, the mama was a Scientologist, like left her. She said she was abandoned at like 11 or 12. They wanted her to join that crazy Sea Org shit where you sign your life away for 1,000,000 years. Like, it was wild. She said they lived with like roaches and rats and like some weird dormitory, and she never saw her mom, and like she was homeless, and she would like come home from school and just like stay at random people's houses and just kind of like play it off. Like craziness. Like she was 11 and like homeless.
Man, that sounds like a Quan Mills novel.
My Scientologist mama got roaches in her crib.
Yeah, that's the one with the dude talking about something like, I got 6 baby daddies and they married to God.
Pregnant by my pastor's grandpa or whatever.
Yeah, pregnant by my boyfriend's granddaddy. I was like, man, how does that work?
Bigfoot stole my food stamps or something like that.
Man,
look, he probably gonna make that one next. You already know.
Don't give him any ideas. Do not. Don't give him any ideas. Because shout out to Quan Mills.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to him because we were shout out to Baby Huey and Charnel and Rain from Carefree Black Nerd and Charnel from What About Your Friends podcast, because we were talking about Quan Mills on Twitter, and all of a sudden the man just pops up and starts tweeting us. And so now he has more followers than he had, because he had like 30. So first of all, he wasn't using Twitter that often. Mm-hmm. So we get to talking about his book, starting this book club. Next thing we look up, he's looking for IG subscribers that have a lot of followers to do a live reading of one of his books.
Okay.
Nigga.
Right. I need to get into this.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie, I seen one title was like, this girl got roaches in her apartment, something like that. And I was like,
but he made a part 2. And then there's one called like Carry On White Bitch Part 1 and 2. Like, it's wild.
Carry On White. I need to.
I'm at the read. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna probably get one just to read it.
Okay, so check it. The one that we picked was 99 cents, right? But then the other titles were like $6 a piece. And I was like, I'm not giving you 6 of my hard-earned
Black dollars. Black dollars support Black dollars. Come on.
I mean, I feel that, but I gotta give it to a product I really believe in, man.
See, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Not to be funny. 99 cents is fair. I'll give you $1, but you are not out here making classic literature. And I say, listen.
First of all, you don't know what's classic until it's classic. Now, 20 years from now,
that shit's not a classic.
All of a sudden, he gonna have a Tyler Perry produced film.
Yeah, you never know.
First of all, Tyler
could have had a first print.
Tyler Perry produced fucking Acrimony. So at this point, Tyler Perry will produce anything. So at this point, Tyler Perry will produce anything. So that's fine. So when it's Medea has roaches at her cribs, just know that you heard it here first. That's it.
Medea has crabs.
I'm telling you, it's either that or Medea goes to space. That's the only other thing. Medea movies are like Fast and Furious movies.
Medea goes to space.
So that's going to be it, and then the next Fast and Furious movie is going to be set in space.
It's going to be
because they don't have anything left.
It's going to be with Fast and Furious. It's going to be like it's going to have like Vin Diesel in it.
Yep,
it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be a crossover so our heads can explode.
All of a sudden,
they drive their car.
Fast and Furious like crossover in space.
In a world where
in a world where one black woman with large, long titties.
They knew they needed one special weapon. Oh hell no! You know, all of a sudden, oh hell no! Y'all heard it. Fast and Furious Medea, Part 7 in space. Well, Part 8, 7 already came out, but you know.
Mr. Brown's Revenge.
So I know this is a sidebar, but since we're talking about space, are y'all going to join the Space Force?
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. I'm willing to join the the Space Force, not the Galactic Empire.
Here's my question: so y'all go join the Space Force and get what? Y'all go ahead and join for the benefits and get y'all a Charger or a Challenger and then go fuck space hoes?
First of all, they ain't even got enough money on their budget. They talking about $8 billion. $8 billion is like one rocket. I ain't going nowhere.
Not even that. I mean, one jet costs like $50. $8
billion. That's not enough. That's not enough money to do a space force, nigga.
Nah, man. So they got $8 million just to have dudes come in the room and talk about it.
Yeah. So I think here's my thing though. I don't know if it's actually gonna be a Space Force. I think it's like rich people code for some shit where they about to go colonize the moon and shit and leave the rest of us here.
Shit, we got
and then like just mine the Earth's resources and still make us work. Like all the rich people gonna go to the moon.
They're gonna test it out first. He said, we're just going to test it out first. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
And then they're never coming back. And then they're just going to mine the Earth's resources. And the whole Earth is going to be like a fucking annex. We're going to be fucking Earth Puerto Rico. Like the whole thing. They're going to annex the fuck out of it.
Only thing I'm thinking about right now is that Chappelle skit. If Dante come out and start talking
Mars,
about
bitches!
beat for beat with that Chappelle skit, that's a wrap, man. Hey, look, we going wherever y'all going. We ain't.
Nah, this is how they do it.
I don't trust that. Nah, get on the rocket too.
When you see all these stars, like people who got money, and you stop seeing them a lot. Like you start seeing like the stars, they retiring all of a sudden. And then you just don't see these niggas no more. Them niggas is in space.
Hey, them niggas is gone.
You'll know when it's time to go when Will Smith goes.
Yeah, I'm on that. If Beyonce, Jay-Z, Will Smith,
Will Smith, and like Denzel Washington leave, then you know
they go do the on the moon tour.
I'll hold your space gun. Hold your heart in your space gun. I don't care if they come. All right.
Hey, B, it's crazy. It's crazy up there, B.
Is Nelly gonna come out of retirement and do a Space Force One music track? That's it.
Stomping. Yes, Nelly, Force come back, special edition.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's my Twitter name. I was joking with Quentin. It's my Twitter handle, Space Force Ones, because why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, shoot. Look,
hey, yo, well, y'all joking though, man. I hope somebody do make them, James. Like some Galaxy Air Force Ones right now.
I'm just saying, like, I would
Space Force Ones, my nigga.
Yeah. Like, you can't tell me you would wear some Air Force Ones that look like they got like a star pattern or some shit on
with
it.
The Galaxy
like
actual man,
with
I might with a blue sole on that Jane, or with the blue gum sole.
Hell yeah.
Heard it.
It's not a bad idea.
I make it happen.
Listen, they're gonna be special editions, and they're gonna be signed by Nelly and like an astronaut.
I want mine signed by Trump.
I don't want that.
Unfortunately, that shit will be worth a hell of money because there's gonna be a time in history where we reading up on this, or our kids are like, they really let this dude become president? Yeah, man. We got like a whole 10 chapters of what happened during this period. And it was
rough going. Yeah. Remember that time that I told you about a bunch of racists, and I talked about Andrew Jackson, and we talked about Andrew Johnson and how he got impeached, and Manifest Destiny, and how fucked up these white people were, and how they killed a bunch of Indians, Native Americans, how they killed all the Native Americans and just kind of, let black people be enslaved forever. Yeah. Well, this was like that, but like super worse.
It was like
that hold my beer moment. Oh shit, let me tell you about 2018 then.
It was like that, but it was just really fucking dumb. Like it was that, but just with a lot of stupid people.
I want him to know. I want Trump to be like, if whenever they actually like convict him or something, I want him to be like frozen in carbonite. That's what I want. I just want don't
wait, what is the movie?
Don't put him in prison.
Freeze that nigga in carbonite and stick him in the middle of goddamn Lafayette Square Park out there in DC, right in front of the goddamn the White House. Just had a nigga stuck there. That's what I want.
What, we can't put him in? What is it? The cryo freeze? What was the movie with oh my God, with Sylvester Stallone and Demolition Man.
Oh my God,
yeah.
I don't want him naked.
Simon Phoenix. You don't want him to come back in Simon Phoenix us. No.
But you freeze him there. They gotta freeze that nigga naked. You don't want to see Trump naked butt in a frozen ice cube. You don't want a cube of him.
Remember Kanye did that before too. Damn, why the hell Kanye did? He's been doing weird ass shit. Now you start thinking about it. Remember that?
Which one?
Remember when he had that? I don't remember if it was like the album cover or whatever, but he had like him and a bunch of people like just naked spread out. It was like him and
but he had Ray J, Amber Rose butt naked in the bed with him. Kim in the bed.
That was
he had Trump butt naked in the bed with him.
That was the album art for Famous.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So he's always on his.
He's gone.
Shit. Yeah.
He's gone. And that's one of my favorite rappers of all time. He is my top five. Not top five like best rappers, but he was one of my top five favorite rappers. He was in there.
He had classics.
And now I'm just like, I haven't heard anything from the new album. I will not. And like I haven't really heard Yeezus and all that stuff, but I'm just like, I don't want to hear what he has to say. That's what I'm not canceling him because I don't really believe in the whole cancel culture thing. Because to be honest, if the music slap hard enough, people gonna uncancel that nigga immediately. Like if R. Kelly came out with a banger right now, if R. Kelly dropped a banger, a flamer right now, that nigga will be back on top. People don't care about nothing but themselves. Now people as a person cares about people, but people don't care populace. About people.
Yeah.
They don't care
about that's the thing. That's why they'll never get R. Kelly the fuck up out of here. But the part that is very interesting to me, like I said earlier, Chris Brown fucked Rihanna up. And this nigga can't catch a break.
Nope.
Well,
that was like
R. Kelly.
But he's still able to cook though.
Yeah, but he's
He
not.
found he can't get that same lane.
Is he where he was though? I would say that.
No, he
You know what I'm
can't. He
saying?
can't
Like
get
he
that
was.
no more. He can't get
You
them
know what I'm saying?
endorsements.
He was on par to be like the it megastar boy. Remember, he was doing goddamn double mint commercials and shit. Like you couldn't turn around and not stare something with Chris Brown on it in the face. Like he was poised to really be it, which not to say he has not had a very good career, and not to say he does not deserve whatever punishment he got for, you know, punching that girl in her face or whatever the fuck else. Yeah. However, R. Kelly, but I have a theory about this. I feel like when it comes to celebrities, when you get to a certain point, people feel like you are theirs. They feel like they know you. They feel like you are family. Yes. It just go up for Rihanna. He punched Rihanna in the face. He punched everybody good sis Rihanna in the face. They was mad. R. Kelly is out here abusing nameless, faceless black girls. And nobody gives a fuck. That is the difference.
The thing about with Chris Brown was, I'm sorry, I gotta work on that. But the thing about Chris Brown, right, is his music didn't reach that peak that R. Kelly hit, right? He didn't. Yeah, he didn't. He was on his way. If he had kept going, let's say this happened a little later on in life, and let's say he had dropped them hits that he had before, and then a few more hits that like really solidify him, it probably wouldn't have hurt him as bad.
Because I think
he might be coming back.
When it comes to situations like that, it's about who's more famous. That's going to determine on who people are going to side with. Mm-hmm. And I think in R. Kelly's situation, like you said, they're faceless, they're nameless, they're randoms, and people are automatically going to assume that they only trying to attach themselves to his money and try to come up off of him and blah blah blah.
But because Rihanna was arguably a rising star,
I think she was more famous than him at that point at the time.
I would say so. I think they were right. They were kind of right about the same time.
And she had Beyonce.
Right. And so, I mean, she was signed to Rockefeller. So I think in her case, because she had just dropped her second album, Good Girl Gone Bad or whatever, and that Umbrella song was everywhere. I think it kind of put people in this mindset of, okay, well, why would she lie on you? She doesn't need anything from you. So why would she lie?
Of course.
Nameless, faceless, poor black girls in Chicago, they need R. Kelly. So of course they're lying or inflating what happened. And so it's crazy the way people make excuses for that because these people are not famous. But I will say this, and y'all can die mad about it, because these nameless, faceless, 15-year-old, 16-year-old black girls, if they were some nameless, faceless, 15-year-old white girls, R. Kelly would be under the jail.
Oh, of course. It's different now because they're more innocent.
He would be under the motherfucking jail. Wouldn't be no R. Kelly. He would be he who should not be named.
He's out here
wouldn't be a record you could buy, a video you could watch. He wouldn't be on Twitter, Instagram. He would be in jail, honey.
I might want to argue with that one.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta think about it. Because
he out here raping a bunch. He out here raping a bunch of 15-year-olds, and he don't go to jail.
So you saying he had a bunch of Sarahs out here?
No, think about the time.
If Becky, Sarah, and Susan getting raped, he not going to jail.
Think about the time. Think about the time this stuff happened. The reason why R. Kelly wasn't done how they do niggas now is because people at one point in time, a nigga could be dating a chick that was under the age of 17, and they won't look at the same as they look at him now.
And I absolutely agree with you, but he was doing this well into the 2000s.
True. No, I'm talking about when it originally happened. Like when it first happened and everybody knew about it, right? I remember when the R. Kelly sex tape came out. Niggas weren't really that pressed on trying to get him out of here. A matter of fact, only people who was trying to get him out of here was the police. That was it. The regular people out there, from what I saw, let's say it was other conversation I wasn't allowed to be part of because I was a kid like that. But from what I saw, they was not really it was cancel R. Kelly, but it was like the church groups and stuff like that. It wasn't like the people who's actual fans. They weren't trying to cancel that nigga. They
don't care, and that's fine, and that's fine. They don't have to care. But what I'm telling you is, the same people that are trying to get him the fuck out of here. White people love a lot of things, and what they love the most of all is finding ways to be motherfucking racist.
They like
it. So if they can find a way to put R. Kelly in jail because he likes to touch on little white girls, oh honey, he couldn't beat on a white girl and got her. He'd have been done.
He wasn't gonna make that one because
I'm sorry, you're not making that one. You can make a case for a lot of things.
trying to
He could
think
sing, he
who
could
got
blow
away
his
with something like that.
motherfucking lungs out. He could have came with the
can't-
banger
I'm
of the
trying to think of somebody
universe.
who got away.
He could have
Bill
been.
Cosby.
That didn't come out till later though.
But they knew about that stuff. Like he was getting accused back then.
But that was the sign of the times. Like you said, everybody was taking Quaaludes, but these were also consenting adults in a time where everyone was doing drugs. The one that was his downfall was the underage white bitch. That's what got him. That's what got him. He wanted to drug little girls. Because if he had drugged a grown one, he might would have got away. And that's terrible. It's horrible. You shouldn't be drugging anybody. But at the time, that was standard for the day. Everybody was fucking take Quaaludes. Spanish fly. We all doing drugs, having sex, whatever. Okay. So he was doing what everybody was doing. But R. Kelly is out here fucking little girls.
Yeah. Especially if he would have been on tape. And I know they tried to use like a technicality where it was like, oh, we couldn't recognize him, or we don't. He said that was his twin brother.
If they'd have had these new age technology ass, hidden ass cameras, HD 4K cameras, and he out here pissing on a 14-year-old, he's going to jail. And if she's white, they gonna find a way to kill him before he gets.
But then that nigga dropped "Step in the Name of Love."
Oh, I don't care how many times and he could. They gonna be stepping his ass right on. Step in the Name of
Love. He was like, you know what? It won't my baby. That's how they felt.
And that is how they felt. And that's fair. That is fair. You feel like it because it's not, and that it's sad because we were just talking about, like you're talking about the guy that you work with. The fact that people are so desensitized and unempathetic unless it directly involves them should be frightening to everybody. Yeah. Like that shit should scare you because there's this whole phenomenon of people who mind their own business, right? Which there's nothing wrong with minding your own business. Mm-hmm. But there's this whole phenomenon of people being like, I don't want to get involved. I'm going to mind my business. I'm not going to call the police. I'm not going to get to know my neighbors. I'm not going to check on anything. I'm not going to intervene in anything. That's not my problem. That doesn't concern me. And the world is a much worse place for it because there was a time when people knew their neighbors, knew what was going on. People knew if your kids had to come home and be by themselves for 5 or 6 hours. And if it was normal for them to have people over, or if it was normal for them to, come home from school at 3 or 4 o'clock. Now they don't know, and then your kids get snatched off the street, or I don't know, getting pissed on by R. Kelly in your living room, and nobody knows anything.
It's actually funny because I remember we came up, and maybe it's just we were the last group that it happened to, and anybody can attest to that. But
people's neighborhood and the people around them not necessarily took care of them, but knew who they were. And somebody was bothering you or doing some shit they shouldn't be doing. If you were doing some shit you shouldn't have been doing,
the neighbor lady can take
was
you.
Policing your behavior. Yeah. Somebody was making sure you weren't out here getting fucking sex trafficked.
The neighbor lady could, if she saw you out here wilding, she would have brought your ass in, sat your ass on the couch, and you knew she was calling everybody she knew to let them know what you were doing.
Your mama to your somebody.
Was that?
That's our generation's fault. Like how things are now is our generation's fault. Like we were we grew up a certain way, right? Mm-hmm. And not like I said, on an individual basis, of course, it's going to be different. But like how we grew up, we was always taught how to do certain things. So I think our generation started to rebel against a certain thing. Like we're not going to raise my kid that way. And now you get the whole situation. Don't put your hands on my child.
Yeah.
Or don't talk to my child like that. That's my child. I discipline my child. And you go from that to now, can't nobody tell the kids nothing because my mama the only one to talk to me like that. And now then eventually now they got a whole generation of people who are saying, well, don't talk to your kids like that at all. Your kids shouldn't be. You should discuss things with your 3-year-old for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing. Like I told my son. Now, this isn't my upbringing. It's not how I choose to upbring my child, but the mother of my child decides differently. Mm-hmm. I asked him. I asked him. I told him to take the trash out, and he asked me why. I was so confused.
Why? Because I told you to go take the trash out. Who are you
talking to?
I think my head would have done the Exorcist joint. Like what?
But see, the thing about this, my son is not. He's 18 now, but this was probably he was 16 or whatever, and he asked me that because I'm working. He came up for the summer. I'm working and stuff like that. So I'm at home at the time. Like, yo, he take the trash out, and he asked me why, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm like, who the F are you talking to? But then I was like, I asked him go do it. So I calmed myself down. I didn't act because he's not that type of kid. Like he's not like a disrespectful child as much. You know what I'm saying? Like he's an introvert. He don't do too much. He's not out there acting up. He just a certain type. He's like millennial lazy. You know what I'm saying? So like certain things, it's just certain things he don't do. So like he just because she don't make him do certain things. So like if that same mindset has been passed on to our kids. So imagine how lazy the next generation is. They already don't have to do anything now.
I think that it'll be kind of a shift. I think it'll be a shift because I think that what people have done in raising these children to be like lazy millennials, if you want to call it that, or just kind of millennial lazy, is that they've created these very spoiled, entitled creatures. But they're going to get to a place where they realize that if everyone else around you is spoiled and entitled like you are, nothing ever gets done. Well, so eventually,
it will get done.
Has to do something, and that's the whole point. Someone has to do something. They're all lazy as fuck, and so I think it creates this thing where they kind of like, okay, true. I can't parent my kids to be lazy and like a sloth like me because who's going to do anything?
It is funny. I would say this: our generation started a lot of stuff. So,
maybe think about it.
Maybe it's our parents.
It's everybody's fault.
Yeah, but let's because I can also add to that. It also started the whole "everybody makes the team" mantra as well because my baby not gonna get left out. And also that was also the start of No Child Left Behind. That was also the start of hell, just because I show up, you should entertain me. It's not a lot of stuff I had to think about. It's sad.
There is a level of entitlement with people that kind of is disturbing. And I don't think until I kind of started to be more on social media did I notice it because I don't necessarily live a life around people that are super, super weird with their levels of entitlement. But so, I mean, it's not an everyday occurrence for me, but you can just kind of tell from the stories, the horror stories people tell that apparently it's a thing. And I did not know. Like, these people are super entitled and they feel like they're entitled to your time. They're entitled to you for you to explain things to them. You're entitled to do work for them. You're entitled to do work they should be doing for themselves, emotional labor, real labor. You're supposed to be an intern for free. Like
I would say this.
It's so much.
I would say this, like not the harp on it, but like when it came down to when we was growing up, right? The first thing you say when you have kids that you're not going to put them through the things that you went through. You say, I want to make my kids' life better. And our parents said the same thing. But when they're doing that, same thing with technology. Technology gets rid of certain things that we were just used to having. True. So as we progress forward when we're raising our kids and we're saying like, yo, my kids ain't going to go through the same thing I went through. But a lot of things that you went through shaped you into the person that you are. So now you've taken away from the things that they would have that would have shaped them. And now they're walking around here being shaped by whatever the cell phones is doing that. Because most of the kids don't do anything like, it's probably mad kids that ain't never fell off a bike before.
They don't know.
They don't go outside.
Look, they don't know anything about that. They don't know anything about that.
It's actually so funny that you brought that up because I remember sending my girls out and they'll come back in 30 minutes later talking about it's hot. I would say it's what? And I remember the time where you got sent outside and hey, don't come back till I call for you.
That's what you should have hit it with. No, hey, go check the other side of it. Go outside and check the door for me real quick. And then she was like, "It's hot." And you're like, "The door is locked," and then lock that thing. Let them sit outside. Get darker.
You're fine. Enjoy. Be blessed. You need that vitamin D. Get
all that melanin you got. No,
you good. Go ahead, girl.
I would say, okay, there are certain things I would understand why you'll say, "Yeah, I don't want my child going through that." But there are other things that you do have to know responsibility. You have to know.
But I think it's rebellion, right? I think it's instead of us picking and choosing the things that build character in children and still doing those things, they just say, "Fuck it, I'm not going to make them do anything." I used to hate doing chores as a kid. My mama made me do chores, and I didn't get to just be a kid. And it's like, no, honey, that's not what the chores were for. The chores were to make you be miserable, and that's what I think. I think people take away the wrong things from parts of their childhood. It's selective memory. Like they rewrite history in a way that makes it sound like everything that their parents made them do as a child was so horrible that their children should never have to do it. Instead of being like, it was shitty in retrospect because I was an 8-year-old and I wanted to go outside and play and I had to wash dishes, but I also know how to wash dishes, and I'm not a bad person.
Yeah, you mean that group on social media who always say, "Oh, your parents abused you, you just didn't know it." Yeah, not everything was abuse, y'all. But
you know what abuse is? Abuse was Penny's mom. That's abuse. Like somebody burning you with an iron. You know what I'm saying? Because you left the lights on. That's abuse. It's a
telling your kids they need to go outside and play and sending them outside with water and telling them they got to stay outside is not abuse.
And like for me, I always use it like for my son, like I probably at his entire life, I probably spanked him maybe 3, maybe 4 times his entire life, right? And that was only when he was like a kid. But when I tell him certain things, right, I always use like the physical. That's like the motivation to make you do what I tell you to do. I don't have to beat you if you do what I'm telling you to do, and we can have a discussion, but it's always like that. That's right in the background to say, hey, you know, this can always go down this way if you ain't trying to listen.
Yeah.
That's my whole, you know what I'm saying? Everything, we can go ahead and everything, all conversation, tell me the truth. I'm not going to get mad if you tell me the truth, all this, that. Matter of fact, my whole entire policy was if it's funny, you got away with it because it's funny to me. I'll laugh, you know, if it's funny. But like, if it ain't funny, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but if it's something bad, I'll talk to you about it. But if you felt like, my talking to you and everything else I'm doing to you isn't working, then we can always go to that. That can always work.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? That's your motivation.
I was that negotiating ass kid back in the day where they try to get me to do chores. And even to this day, I'll argue with my grandma and be like, oh, she only did that so you can learn how to build character and know how to take care of yourself or how to take orders at work. And I was like, nah, motivation at work is money. I was like, if they ain't paying me, I ain't doing shit. But, you know.
Straight up.
But no,
I'm scared of my grandma, so I'm going to do what she tells me to do.
I was always the kid that I like picking with my grandma, so I'll just throw things out there. Like, I got one grandma who's like super religious, and she'll always say something is a sin. And I was like, well, Granny, you know, certain things, you know, this is a sin too, but you tend to do that. She was like, I'm not talking about me right now. I'm just saying.
All right. Okay.
So she be bringing all that truth in this house.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, Granny. Okay, Granny. I'm going to take the trash out now. Bye. Okay, Granny. All right.
So last thing, V, you said you had something you wanted to discuss that you saw online, right?
Yes. So, this nice girl on Twitter, let me see if I can go back to it. She posted a very interesting set of screenshots from her Instagram, I believe it was. So let me go back to this so we can have a look. Okay, so I'm not gonna call out the girl's at name. We're gonna let her be. But so she got some Instagram messages, and they read, so a woman messages her and says, I'm writing this message because I want you to know how many problems you've caused in my life. Whether you realize it or not, I married my husband at 19 and gave up everything for him. We were very happy until I saw he follows you on Twitter and likes your tweets repeatedly. I then checked Instagram, and to my surprise, he followed you here too. I did not want to argue with him, so I just asked to borrow his phone and unfollowed you from his account, but he followed again and put a password on his phone. I asked him if he ever messaged you, and he said no, but liked every picture you post and would frequently retweet you. So one day I logged into his Instagram and reset his password, and I saw he messaged you 3 times. This was the first time I caught my husband lying to me. Let's see. I asked him why he lied. He said, because I react. I told him to unfollow you again, and he did not comply. I thank you for ignoring his messages, but if you could please block him, I would be very, very grateful. It would put my mind at rest. This has been giving me depression because we do not look the same. I don't know why you are so special to him, but I feel like I want to divorce him because he lied and makes me uncomfortable about other women. Sister, please respect my wishes and do not wreck my marriage. He is nobody to you, but everything to me.
Wow.
So I have several questions, but I'm just going to start with one.
Okay.
Is it okay to like a person's Instagram photos and tweets if you are in a relationship? And this person is the opposite sex. Like, if you're married, is it okay for you to like some other girl's tweets and pictures? If you're not necessarily messaging her, in this case, he's messaging her, but we'll cut short of messaging. But if you're just liking the pictures and retweeting tweets, is there an issue with that? Should there be an issue with that?
You going first, Q?
Nah, man, you guess. Go ahead, man. I'll backtrack.
Yes and no.
Okay.
The yes will be if your partner doesn't care. It always goes off of the disrespect factor. If your partner would feel like that's disrespectful, then don't do it. Because it could be something just as simple as like they don't like you holding doors for women. You know what I'm saying? So that would be disrespect. So you don't disrespect your partner. That's it. So like your partner doesn't care that you do the like things or whatever, then you should be able to. If they don't like it, then you shouldn't. But if they do have a problem, you know what I'm saying, then you're not supposed to.
I mean, okay. Here's my damn. I don't even because I understand what you're saying. I get it, but I'm like at the end of the day. Because, I mean, anybody can say, oh, yeah, that disrespects me. And I'm like, that's just going to be an end all, be all. And I'm like, there's be some things that I'm just being polite. So how's that going to be disrespectful? I think you really just need to take a step back and chill out.
There ain't no politeness in liking a picture.
But look, okay.
I'm just being polite.
But I mean, okay, let's look at it. Of course, I don't know if they know it. But I would imagine if it's somebody you knew, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's a dope pic, cool. Or if me, I just go on this, if I know you, I'll like your picture anyways. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah. And just go on down the line.
Well, what picture, though?
Usually whatever's on the timeline now. If you're over watching booty shaking videos, first of all,
I will
say this, though. If she got scattered ass looking, yeah, you know why he liking it. But
if she's showing you her Cheerio on the damn picture, whoever.
But then again, it was like, that regulation's going to go a long way because you're going to be out in the world. They got porn. They got all these different avenues for you to go ahead and check it out.
Between like porn and then like an actual Instagram picture, because like if you're out there liking them, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something that's feasible. Like there's something that was in a certain area, so there's a possibility. You ain't meeting Pinky.
And that was my next question.
If you got if you got enough funds,
does accessibility to the person matter? Like if the person was.
Oh, I guess she froze again. But okay, I would say this.
Would that be an issue?
Oh,
would she still feel?
Say one more time.
Like, does the proximity like matter? Because if it's like, let's say, like if I guess the realm of possibility of it actually being a thing. Because this girl on Twitter, like looking at her, she just seems like a very like she's a pretty girl, but she doesn't seem to be like an IG model, but she seems like a girl that has an IG and is relatively pretty.
Let me prove it to you right now.
So as I'm saying, is that there a difference between I liked pictures of Holly Berry in a bikini and I like pictures of Joe Smo or whoever over here in her bikini? Is it because that person is accessible?
Yeah, that's it. Because like, think about this. Every relationship or every marriage or however you're dealing with a person, you know how people like, yo, you can ask your partner about like the famous person if they have a crush on or something like that. That's allowed. You're allowed to have a famous crush. That's how you know that proximity matters, because you're allowed to have like somebody out there who is attracted to Will Smith and their boyfriend or husband does not have a problem with the fact that they have an attraction to Will Smith because they know dang well you ain't never meeting Will Smith. Now, if it's a situation, if you have a job that works in Hollywood, you can't have that conversation. You can't have that same conversation with your boyfriend no more because you might meet this nigga.
See, I think accessibility is different because, I mean, even if it's a situation, for instance, like I'm a realist, so I'm not one to believe that there ain't no regular ass every dude out here that my old lady may find attractive.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Now, if she hop on them, that's different. Because I think the actions speak louder than like, if I weren't with you or if I were single, then I probably would. And because then again, it's also, you gotta look at it like, if you were a regular dude, most of these models ain't really accessible to you because you can't afford it. Let's just be real. So you ain't gonna hop on no plane and you ain't paying for her to come out. So all you could do is just like the picture and keep
you ain't got the right to flight.
Yeah, exactly. So now,
you can't make it.
In my opinion on this is a lot of insecurity, because I think also sometimes when what really also plays a role is how the other person looks. Like, for instance, if your woman says she have a crush on or like the picture of a dude that look like all busted as hell, you be like, oh shit, I ain't tripping on that. That's cool. But if she like some local dude who, I don't know, fitness model or whatever, and you know, she like in every picture, you gonna be like, wait, hold on.
That's true. If she was like liking Welvin's page, you wouldn't be like, yo, are you trying to mess with Welvin?
Yeah, you're not gonna care what Welvin doing. He could be laid out on the beach, covered in baby oil. You're gonna be like, okay, girl.
You ain't trying to get with Shiggy, is you?
Exactly. You're gonna be like, okay, I don't.
So I also think that's where the insecurities come into play.
But you over there like Tyson Beckman pictures all the time. We got a problem. Like, what are you doing?
It did seem very insecure. But then I guess my next question, follow up, would be: is it the outside person's responsibility to assist you in any way? She came to that girl instead of addressing her husband, and then told the girl to block her husband, and then basically insinuated she was a homewrecker if she didn't comply.
She actually should have blocked her.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
me being the petty person I am, I told her, sis, you should have just went back and liked all that man's photos.
Knowing me, I would have did like,
you should have said, I would have pushed her to the ledge. I'd have liked all his photos. I'd have retweeted all his retweets, and I would have gave a goddamn.
She was wrong because she was married, and she didn't talk to her husband about something that she had a problem with.
She was wrong as two left shoes, and if I was that girl, I'd have pushed her to the ledge. I bet you'd have jumped out the window fucking with me. You think you were sick and shook? Let me get you shook.
Because you're addressing the wrong person. Like, why are you
got
coming
the
to
wrong
me with this?
Person. I don't even
and
know
not even just that. She went past it when she decided to go in his phone, and then start doing things instead of just asking that question. Like, the whole idea of you going in there and then you go and change his password, or you block the person, like
unfollow.
You be a sneaky conniving now.
Yeah, now you doing all this trickery or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just having a regular conversation, because just because he stopped looking at that one chick, do you think they stopped making Instagram models? There's another one pop up every day.
I said that earlier. I was like, there's always going to be another bad one.
There's always going to be someone, and if you don't address the behavior with the person that the behavior is stemming from, it's never going to be fixed. And so I think that's very indicative of the way people move in their relationships now. They have no idea of what a healthy communication looks like between two people that are in a grown-up relationship, that they feel like it's acceptable to accost strangers about your relationship.
People don't communicate now.
Yeah.
If you want to accost a stranger about your relationship, it probably needs to be a therapist. Like if you want to just run up on people that you don't know about shit that's going on in your relationship, maybe you should pay them, and they should be a licensed therapist.
She gonna be
because that just seems crazy.
Or you can always call
people at the restaurant talking about, what you mean? Ask him if he want more water. I'm the only one that's gonna give him water up in this piece. I don't know what I'm just saying.
Matter of fact, bring me the ice in your hand. I'll put the ice in my man's water.
what you doing serving him food?
Yeah, it's very weird, and I will say that it does lend itself to a certain amount of insecurity on her part, and frankly, I don't.
Certain amount. It was she is
she's completely insecure. She's completely insecure in her marriage. Yeah, I mean, and maybe it has something to do with that backstory she told about her giving up everything from him, so she not letting him do shit that she feels like is out of line, because she has invested her whole life in this man. Which, PSA, folks, do not invest your whole life in one motherfucking person, because you will resent them if they do not do the same. And most people have enough common sense to not do that shit. PSA, do not make.
She liable to kill that nigga though.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
She sounds like she is unhinged, and that's so jokingly, I was saying,
hopefully he's listening. She gonna kill you, nigga.
Because jokingly, I did tell, I retweeted and told the girl, yeah, you should like all his pictures back, blasey, blasey. But the girl was very, she wasn't necessarily understanding, but she was like, just off rip, I'm going to block her and him because I don't want to be involved in that. And she seems unstable. And that's fair. So kudos to her, because she honestly was like, that woman seems unstable and I don't want to push her to do anything crazy. So,
she's killer
because this is crazy enough. So
she'll kill her, kill him, and then kill herself.
So she absolutely
just so she
blocked
know.
both of them. So more so yeah. She blocked both of them, and that's what she should have done. So more power to you, sis, for having the good judgment to just be like,
and that nigga added another IG model right after she blocked him.
Right after she blocked him, and he still looking at him.
Bergos
started a new account.
Which means if you're in a relationship with people, you should really just kind of try to figure out how to speak to them about your boundaries and what you deem disrespectful and whatever else. Now, do I feel like she was really tripping? Because I just don't. Okay. So maybe I don't necessarily see the harm in liking someone's pictures. So I don't know if so maybe there needs to be more backstory. Maybe we need to know what retweets and what pictures were being liked to make her feel this way. Because
exactly what happened.
Because my suspicion is that maybe he was liking the titties out bikini pics.
Already know,
and she was.
Yes.
See, but that's
wasn't liking her.
That's one question I gotta ask though. That's for everybody. That's for man, woman, whoever. Is that a person's fault because I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of people get in relationships super early before they're able to really understand who they are or really understand, get into their selves and so on and so forth. And sometimes you get with someone, and let's just be honest, sometimes the relationship kind of falls off, or people don't do as much when they know they got you. So, is that really? If you go out and you start seeing people who are badder or finer or cuter or whatever than the one you're with, you're gonna kind of, and let's be like, a lot of us are visual, so you're gonna be like, yeah, I like that. I would love to have that.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. There's nothing wrong with looking, but you don't like it. That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's Instagram. It's a million of them. Just scroll by, look at the picture. If somebody is sitting beside you, like, hey, bro, look at her. Look at this.
Especially if you got a chick who gonna go on your phone and then unfollow people on your joint. You should know. Like, if you listen to the story, you just
look and you say, she looks good. Her ass is nice. And
if you listen to the story, you can tell who messed up. Both of them are messed up in this situation. One, she messed up because she's actually he driving her crazy. If they've been together for X amount of time, he know how she is.
Of course.
So he already knew she was gonna get on his phone and do that mess, and then you let her do it, and then you go and you follow the chick back after she unfollowed. You ain't unfollow her.
Look,
she did it.
Every man has had a woman go through his phone before. Hell, I think every woman now has had a dude go through their phone before. I'm just saying. Look, 2018, things have changed. They got a lot of dudes out here doing.
I've never went through somebody's phone.
Hey, look, there's a lot of dudes
I've had somebody go through my phone,
being all private eye, trying to figure things out because they.
He thought he was Magnum PI, honey. He went through my phone and was like, "You need to call this person so I can see who they are." What?
FaceTime them. And I think honestly,
that's too much.
Yeah, it was so much. He had me just calling random people in the middle of the night talking about, I need to see who this is. Like, I hadn't talked to this person since 2007. What?
Man, look, we might have to talk about that one next time. Insecurities can run deep. I mean, there's a lot there. And I mean,
all I can say is that they had a lot going on in their relationship, and it was not just hinged on that one girl and her Instagram photos and tweets. Yeah, they had some very deep-seated issues there on both sides.
She said that
nigga like Nikki did Safari.
He deserved that. You know that.
Yeah, you know he did.
Yeah, he must have did something wrong.
Just another PSA for y'all.
Yeah.
Women can be abusers. Women commit acts of domestic violence. Y'all can be mad. I don't care. The policy in life for 2018 and beyond should be everybody should keep their hands to their fucking self. Keep your hands to yourself and your genitals too, unless the other person consented. That is all you need to know about it. You need not ask me any further questions. There need not be any tweets about clarification. Keep your hands to yourself. Y'all love to hit folks and then get mad at what happens. And I'm going to tell you like this. When you go to smacking folks with items and throwing shit at their head and, I don't know, stabbing them and leaving them to bleed to death on the floor, whatever you get after that.
And then start a rap career right after.
Whatever you get is on you. That's just it. It's whatever you get is on you. Y'all gonna learn to keep your hands to yourself.
stab somebody and start a whole album on the stabbing.
I stabbed him. Listen, if you want to rap about how you stabbed,
and I'm gonna stab him in the stomach, and
listen. And then when somebody brought up the fact that she stabbed the man, they was like, "Sis, she already talked about that on song whatever on this album." Look. So she done already told y'all she stabbed the man looking for dead, and y'all was like, "Yes, sis, queen."
Everybody cool with that. You know, her and Drake are bulletproof. No matter what going on, they'll be all right.
Drake got a kid with his cousin. And I don't. Like, but hey, it's Drake.
Yeah, it's Drake. I know he ain't out here taking care of his son, but it's Drake though. I'm sure he got a good reason why.
He got a good reason. He made a baby with his cousin. They don't care. Like, it's Drake. He's from Canada. That's what they do.
They don't know any better.
He just practicing. He's trying to keep the blood pure. That's not now.
Yeah. Gross. Yuck.
Oh man. All right, man. Though, Penniless dog. Appreciate you coming through, man. Let folks know.
We do. Thank you.
When y'all gonna start back up, or even where they can catch all the older episodes.
Well, you can absolutely catch all of our old episodes. I think we up to almost 70. We should have been there. We actually been recording since like 2015, but we just keep taking breaks in between. So I really should wait further than that. But anyways, it's the Poor People's Podcast. That's the Poor People's Podcast. You can find us on SoundCloud. You can find us on Apple Music, and I think you can find us on Google Play. Maybe it's a good possibility. Hey, but you know, just always hit the search engine. You never know, you'll find us somewhere. You can definitely find us on Instagram at the Poor People's Podcast, and also on Twitter at Poor People's Pod. Okay, I'm very active on Twitter.
Okay.
We know. We love it.
I know, man. I need to get back, man. I just been lazy, man. It's like when I get home and relax, I ain't gonna lie, I've been getting on like my gaming, and I was like, yeah, I'm about to just toss this phone. So
hey, man.
And they tried to get me together too, yo. Last time on Twitter, I was on Twitter. They was talking to me about the what was it? I was talking to like Empress Nick and them or something like that. It was about a thing between men and versus women or something like that.
Uh-oh. And
I forgot what it was. I'm sorry I brought it up. I can think of it now. I was hoping one of y'all might have caught it, but it was
I don't know. I probably would have hopped in it if I would have seen it. So I'm always down to get those just because I like stirring the pot. Why not? Go in and drop bombs and leave.
I'm all in it. I'm all in that, James, man. I didn't know they was mad at me because I was trolling a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I was trolling, but I was serious.
Yeah.
But I was not too serious.
But if you get out here and speak your truth and it don't coincide, you're gonna have beef. That's just how it goes. Beef, man.
Really cool, man. I be dying for that stuff. I want somebody to step up in my mentions, but don't nobody. I be saying inflammatory things, but everybody be ducking me though. I don't know how to troll. So
you gotta bring the inflammatory directly to them.
Yeah, you just hop in their mentions, and when they say something goofy, you just be like, "Man, you on this is wrong because blah 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 blah," and that's it. That's all
you got to bring the heat to them.
I'm just mad. I'm mad because I can't remember what it was, but as soon as we finish talking, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna mess my whole entire evening up."
Hey, man, it's all good. We all been there. My memory's terrible right now, but
yeah, straight up.
Go ahead and shoot out your handles and all that good stuff.
Well, you can find me personally on Twitter and on the Instagram, and I don't have any half naked pictures, so please don't. So please don't like all my photos.
and don't send your lady to her.
And don't send your girlfriend to my direct messages because I don't want you or her there. Please, that's not okay. I'm not interested. So that is at VJ_Burton on both platforms, Twitter and Instagram. On Snapchat, it is Meek B. I have not posted anything for a while. Hey, I am back on Facebook. That is just Vermeek Burton. If you would like to find me there. I know that has just been a clusterfuck, dumpster fire, but I'm there. And if you were also there, you should try to friend me. I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see how that goes. I make no promises or guarantees, but results may vary. let's see. The show's Twitter. We are on Twitter. Yes, you should tweet us things. It is at choppingitup_pod. We like it when you talk to us. We love it, in fact. So tweet us about things that you would like us to talk about, or tweet us about how much you hate the show and how much you hate us. But whatever.
Hey, that works.
Just tweet us.
Just tweet. I promise I'm gonna get back on. But in the meantime, I am _Q_the_great on Twitter as well as on Instagram. I'm on Facebook as well, but Facebook is the land of everything.
Man,
I don't
Facebook
even have a
is
word to
dead
describe.
bodies on the screen.
Yeah. But I think eventually we'll also make an Instagram, and I'm also looking forward to our Spotify link as well, so that will be put out. And this will also be a part of an episode from this last week that I need to upload, so you may get a double feature on this one. So hey, speaking into the future, But
hey,
other than that, you already know you were here chopping it up with us. Dope guests, dope topics, all that good stuff. Like I said, Penniless, appreciate for coming through.
I've
thank
been
you
chopped.
so much.
Hey, now
I've been
he was here
chopped,
chopping
man.
over Q, man. You already know what it is. Other than that, I'm QV. We about.
Yeah.
Laters.